Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So reading from Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 1, and text 17 to 19. Okay, so I read the translation of the first two. So text 17. O great sage, we are all eager to know the cause for this mercy of the Lord. I have heard that formerly a king named Vena blasphemed the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that all the Brahmanas consequently obliged him to go to hell. Shishupal should also have been sent to hell. How then did he merge into the Lord's existence? From the very beginning of his childhood, when he could not even speak properly, Shishupal, the most sinful son of Damaghosha, began blaspheming the Lord, and he continued to be envious of Shri Krishna until death. Similarly, his brother Dantavakra continued the same habits. So now text 19. Shapator Asakrit Vishnum Yad Brahma Param Avyayam Shvitra Najato Jihvayam Nandham Vivishvatus Tamaha Shapator Asakrit Vishnum Yad Brahma Paramam Avyayam Shvitra Najato Jihvayam Nandham Vivishvatus Tamaha Shapator Asakrit Vishnum Yad Brahma Paramam Avyayam Shvitra Najato Jihvayam Nandham Vivishvatus Tamaha Shapator Asakrit Vishnum Yad Brahma Paramam Avyayam Shvitra Najato Jihvayam Nandham Vivishvatus Tamaha. Shapatoho of both Shishupal and Dantavakra, who were blaspheming. Asakrit repeatedly. Vishnu, Lord Krishna. Yat, which? Brahma, Param, the Supreme Brahman. Avyayam, without diminution. Shvitraha, white leprosy. Na, not. Jataha, appeared. Jihvayam, on the tongue. Na, not. Andham, dark. Vivishvatuhu, they did enter. Tamaha, hell. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Although these two men, Shishupal and Dantavakra, repeatedly blasphemed the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, Krishna, the Supreme Brahman, they were quickly healthy. They were quite healthy. Indeed, their tongues were not attacked by white leprosy, nor did they enter the darkest region of hellish life. We are certainly most surprised by this. Purport. Krishna is described by Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita 10:12 as follows. Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram Paramam Bhavan. You are the Supreme Brahman, the Supreme Abode and Purifier. Herein, this is confirmed. Vishnu, Yad Brahma Paramam Avyayam. The Supreme Vishnu is Krishna. Krishna is the cause of Vishnu. Vice versa, not vice versa. Similarly, Brahman is not the cause of Krishna. Krishna is cause of Brahman. Therefore, Krishna is Param Brahman. Yad Brahma Paramam Avyayam. So, here in these few verses, there are quite some nice points made. That it was the first one that King Vana, who the son of Anga Maharaj, right? Yeah. And he was sinful. He was sinful from the very childhood. And when it came to, that actually his father could not do anything with him. He was so bad. So then, his father, seeing that Maharaj Anga was a great devotee, but so he could not really bring his child to Krishna consciousness. Then he retired. He left the kingdom at night and nobody saw him again. So then the ministers, they had to appoint Vana then as a king. He was very rough, nasty. But then the Brahmanas, they argued, better bad king than no king. Now, he was very nasty, but he was very hard also with the rogues and thieves. So then he kept somewhat the kingdom safe. But then he became proud. And he became to attack the Vaishnavas, the sadhus. And at the time, then the Brahmanas, they said, no, this is beyond bad. Now, then they went to him and they pleaded, look, how you behave is not proper. You have to become a proper king. You have to be subordinate to the Brahmanas. You cannot just whimsically do whatever you want and attack the rules established by the Lord. I can do. I'm the Lord. So then when the Brahmanas saw that there is no way, then they killed him. And then kingdom was without king. For some time, it was a chaos. And seeing that the Brahmanas again then turned their body, and Priti Maharaj came. So, King Vena went to hell. He didn't do anything good. Now, another example, Shishupal. From the very young age, little kid, he would offend the Lord. And Krishna tolerated it 100 times. And after that, then he cut his head off. But then his soul merged into Krishna. So he got liberation, and later on actually he got a Salokya and Sarupya. But in his case, there was a pastime. There was a pastime with Jai and Vijay. So Krishna wanted to fight. Krishna wanted to have some challenges. So then Ravana and Kumbhakarna, then Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, and then Shishupal, Dantavakra. Yes, it's a pastime. But the Lord can give mercy to anyone. There are devotees, Kripasiddhas, who get the mercy of the Lord, causeless mercy of the Lord, without any cause. But those are very rare, very few. Like we can see, for example, say Putana. She came and she wanted to kill Krishna. But because she came in the form of a mother and wanted to nurse Krishna, then Krishna accepted. And then her killing gave her actually place in Vaikuntha. Then Agasura, just because he let the cowherd boys play in him, he was the tool for their play, then Krishna appreciated it. So then when he killed him, he went to Vaikuntha. In Bhagavatam, it is described also that when on Kurukshetra war, when Krishna would ride Arjuna's chariot, and then Arjuna is shooting an arrow, and the arrow is flying. The person who is going to be killed, then he sees Krishna. Now, what he thinks at the last moment? Now, if he thinks that Krishna is my enemy, he gets killed and he merges into Brahman. That's the minimum. When the person being killed, sees Krishna, he appreciates anything, just a little. Oh, such a beautiful person. So opulent. So powerful. So effulgent. Just any quality would appreciate Vaikuntha. So again, the Lord's mercy, it's inconceivable. Now, so we should think, well, okay, so if all of the devotees got it, then we should automatically get it, right? Because we are chanting Hare Krishna. But then, it's not that automatic. There are also things which the Lord does not like. We should avoid Namaparad. So just chanting would not help. Because one can chant the holy name, but if one commits Namaparad, then it's he is chanting Namaparad if he commits offenses against the holy name. Therefore, it said even the Mayavadis, they may be chanting the holy name. You may go and you may hear when Mayavadi is chanting the holy name, but it makes one impure, not pure. It very much depends on the consciousness how it is chanted. So, Namaparad is absolutely not a platform with which we can even think of getting Krishna's mercy. Why should we? We are offending him. And on top of that, one of the worst Namaparad, then it's Vaishnavaparad. Offending Vaishnavas, this is something which even Krishna cannot just forgive. Like the example of Ambarish Maharaj. Then when Durvasa Muni offended Ambarish Maharaj, then at that time Sudarshan Chakra, and actually Sudarshan Chakra has a special privilege. Lord Vishnu, and he instructed Sudarshan, whenever there is Vaishnava being offended, you go. You don't need my permission. So, therefore, when actually Sudarshan was chasing Durvasa Muni, it was, Lord Vishnu had not hands in it anyway. And Durvasa Muni tried. He went to Brahma, he went to Shiva, he went to Vishnu, but none of them, not even Vishnu. I cannot stop. I have nothing to do with it. It's because you offended Vaishnava, and until you appease the Vaishnava, Sudarshan is going to go after you. And you better be quick, because it's coming. So then he really had to beg forgiveness from Ambarish Maharaj. Then only Sudarshan was satisfied. So Vaishnava Aparad, it's something which we have to avoid if we are thinking to progress in our devotional service. And Vaishnava Aparad means Vaishnava Aparad on any level, speaking or acting. Especially, we have a community, and it's international, right? And there are so many different approaches to different things. Now, it is very important that we learn to understand the mood of Srila Prabhupada. So, being a Vaishnava means that even though we have some samskaras from before, but we are coming here to follow what Srila Prabhupada taught us. We need to study Prabhupada's books to know what he actually taught us. Not that I heard that Prabhupada said. It doesn't work like this. So why? We have to understand why we do things, how we do things. We have to learn. So we come here to Mayapur, and then we should not be stuck to our own culture, saying, no, my mother told me like this, so I'm going to do it like this. I don't care what you say. That's not the proper way. So, one has to educate oneself, then why things are done like this and not like that, what my mother taught me. If you want to do that, then okay, stay where you are. And if there are some differences, then we should be eager to try to educate the person or persons such a way so then it's understood. But then we ourselves have to understand what is the right thing to do. So following Guru Sadhu Shastra. Not following our mind, what I think is good to do, okay, if we will do that, and then everybody has to follow because I like it. That doesn't work. To change something, then we have to be then properly understanding. And if we want to have some influence, then we have to be also very strict with ourselves. Actually, Prabhupada, many times he mentions the qualities of a leader: purity, honesty. One has to be example. One has to live. One has to be very strong with this sadhana, with this devotion. So then, very naturally, others are able to follow such person. And because he knows what to do, then it's easy to understand. He can connect things, he can explain. Now, okay, you are doing things like this, but you should be doing it like this. And why? Because when you do it like this, then there is some discrepancy, which is not good, but the other way there is not. So, being able to understand the connection, why we do things. Why do we sleep one way, one place, and not the other? How do we take bath? How to go to the toilet? All right, then how to go to the temple? How to dress? How to chant? How to read? Everything has its own meaning. How to eat? And it's there because there is always some good way to do things, and there's a bad way. It can be done, but you don't get the result, or you will get something detrimental for the consciousness or for the body. Like, for example, say like eating. You can eat sitting down. You can eat standing. But even the karmis, they know that eating standing, it's first of all very uncultured, and the body cannot properly digest. But it's just eating, it's just filling the belly. But when we read, for example, Chaitanya Charitamrita, then it is always spoken about how devotees sit in line on the floor, and then eat together and have pleasant atmosphere. So that's one way. Then how to take bath, or how to study, what to study. So we have to endeavor, first of all, to educate ourselves to know these things. So then we know then Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. But how do we know Guru, Sadhu, Shastra? Through Guru only. So Guru Chakshush. So we have to be able to follow leaders then who are able to connect our daily activities to Krishna. So this is within the community very important. That everybody understands that, and everybody is trying to achieve the highest perfection. Why are we in Mayapur? What is Mayapur? Is it just another city? It's just a place somewhere in India? How many times a day do you remember or remind yourself or be conscious of that you are in Holy Dham, you are in Vrindavan? How many times? And in Vrindavan you don't do nonsense. You perform devotional service. And then how many, you see cheating others, offending, Vaishnava parad going everywhere in Vrindavan. It's very, very sad. But whose fault it is? Huh? Everybody, individually. If you don't want to hear nonsense, you don't have to. You don't have to talk nonsense. You don't have to do nonsense. You don't have to cheat others. You don't have to offend others. If you choose so. But if you don't choose, or if you choose, I want to, it's exciting to hear somebody offending someone. Oh, I like to get on his case because he told me I'm not chanting good rounds, so then I'll get on his case now. It's exciting. It's this is very severe Vaishnava parad. Or I came to know something about that person, so now I'll expose him on Mayapur forum. Right? This is a very, very bad way to deal with Vaishnavas in the Holy Dham. So, if that's going to be happening, how are we even thinking, progressing on the path of devotional service? How are we even thinking that Krishna will have mercy on us? Why should he? One reason. Can anybody give one reason? Why should Krishna have mercy on such offenders who don't care about Vaishnavas? There's none. And of course we can, it's not my fault, it's his fault, or his, or everybody else's, but mine. I am clean. So I have nothing to improve. I'm perfect. But everybody else is bad. Or is it the other way around? So we have to look into ourselves. And we have to very seriously contemplate whether actually we are that so perfect that we have the right to judge and criticize others because we are doing the right thing. And just because one criticizes and nothing happens, that doesn't mean that nothing is happening. Kurukshetra war didn't happen immediately, right? It took time. And there were so many things which Arjuna tried, Yudhishthira tried, the Pandavas, Krishna tried. But it always failed, every attempt. But it was done. Krishna, he did it such a way, so then he was waiting for all the sinful activities to accumulate, so then there is enough of them to annihilate all. So we should not think that I can offend and nothing happens, so everything is perfect, so I can keep offending. We had seen many times. What is the first thing, or what is the thing which happens to a person who offends Vaishnavas? The first thing, Krishna is merciful to him. He protects him. And he protects him by developing distaste for associating with Vaishnavas. So then he cannot commit further offenses. I had seen one person, it was in Mayapur, some time ago. He was not well behaved, and he was encouraged, not pushed, he was encouraged to actually start doing the right thing, behave properly. Then he got so upset and he was actually offensive. And he was also a bit of an astrologer. So then he figured out that, okay, I'll show them, I'll leave Mayapur. And now he found the best muhurta ever in his understanding. So, and then it was his muhurta was exactly on the Gopurnima day, early morning. So then he happily was leaving Mayapur because this is the muhurta, this is the best, I have to leave this time. Now I'll show them all. Devotees were coming into Mayapur, and he was leaving, proudly kind of like, look, So it was clear to everyone that something is wrong. Not to him. He was attached to that idea, therefore he was blind. But it was clear, it was Krishna's encouragement. It was Krishna's arrangement. So we should be careful. Maybe 1, 2, 3 times not offending someone, it will go. But then we may figure out that actually I don't like the association of devotees too much. I like to be myself and then do things. And then, anyway, they are so bad. I don't like them. Look at it, they are doing this and they are dressing like this. No. Keep offending, and the distaste will be more and more. But is this why we came to Mayapur? So really, it's very important that each and every devotee contemplates responsibly for himself or herself. What am I actually doing here? Am I Bengali or am I international? Or am I a devotee? It's very important. Am I this body? Or I am a spirit soul? So, without being able to answer this, then one will be confused. And to be able to answer this, then there must be association, satsanga, Vaishnava Sangha. So, here the examples were given. Now one can choose what he wants to do, where he wants to go. And you see, it's enough to do the activities. By the activities, you deserve a result. You may desire something else, but you deserve a result. You get what you deserve. So, everybody's choice. You are making the choice by your activities. Every moment of your life, it determines what choice you are making. Internally, externally by your activities. But you cannot say that, yeah, but I wanted something else, but no, even though I acted badly, but I didn't mean it actually. Why did you do it? Action done and words spoken, you cannot take it back. You offend someone, it's already done. Then you can figure out something, how to fix it. But you cannot undo it. So I would just, maybe appeal that every Vaishnava should be very seriously considering these points before you get into some activities, and whether it's physical fighting or fighting on internet. It's all the same. It's bad. Hare Krishna. Any question? Yes.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for your class, Prabhu. You mentioned that this mentality of I am right is sometimes the root of this Vaishnava aparatus. And some devotees, they may be very aware of the destructive consequences of Vaishnava Parada, but for example, when there's some service they're doing together and some challenges are there and something has to be fixed. And devotee, instead of encouraging the other devotees, helping to fix the problem, they start getting into this mentality of I'm right and start destroying relationship instead of doing the service properly. Could you please say how to overcome this?
Well, it's an amaparat now to think on the platform now of I and mine. So I am right because I said so. So if one acts like that, then he is committing aparat. The only way how that can be changed It's that he changes his desire. It's a desire to act like this. Maybe even subconscious, maybe he's not purposefully doing it or he doesn't think like that, but it's his desire. So the only way now how that can change is that he changes his desire. How do you change desire? How do you do that? Association. If you associate with people who will draw the good qualities from you, you will become a good person. If you associate with those who will draw the bad qualities, you become a bad person. Bhaktivinoda Thakur talks about when the nature of a person, it's given by his samskaras, but even more influence on developing one's nature is the association throughout this education period, so throughout his brahmacharya. Then, when he is finished with this education and he steps into now working, so that's the time when the ego is set and the nature of the person is set. So now the nature can get modified now in the childhood very easily. So if properly the samskaras are done and if there's proper education, then you have very good chance that the child will have good nature. Now, if it's happening, then later when the ego is already matured, it's not really possible to change somebody's nature like you would do with child. The person must want that. So if you have a deep relationship with that person, so you can tell him, look, my friend, you are bad. Your behavior is really bad. I'm telling it as a friend. And I'm very concerned about your future. So, and then, please, for me, can you do things differently? And if there is a relationship, then the person should at least consider. But if he doesn't want to, there is nothing you can do about it. Nothing. Potentially, we are all Krishna conscious. Every jiva is potentially Krishna conscious, because this is the nature. Now, in the whole world, how many living entities are there? Out of that, how many humans are there? And out of that, how many are practicing, how many are living pious life? And out of that, how many are practicing devotional service? And out of that, how many seriously? Because of their desire. You see, sometimes you have devotees from the West, very dedicated. Their childhood was bad, but they became pure devotees because they wanted to. And sometimes you have children of pure devotees who are rascals. And nothing will make them to practice devotional service because they don't want to. So we cannot make anybody Krishna conscious. It's the person who, if he is willing to, then you can guide him how to purify himself to become Krishna conscious. Nityananda Prabhu, he would go to the houses and beg, please chant the holy name. Many times he got kicked out because they didn't want. He is the Lord himself, and he could not make people Krishna conscious. Because the free will of the living entity is very powerful. It's coming from the Lord. So we have to be very careful how we use the free will and how we desire. So we have to educate ourselves. If we are serious, then study. Study Prabhupada's books. Srila Prabhupada tells you what you should desire, what you should do, how you should do it. In every aspect of your life, at every moment of your life, you can take guidance from Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. But one has to one. So if you are concerned about your friend like that, then through relationship you can influence him. But through power or enforcing something, not really. Hare Krishna. Jai Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Jai Nitai Gaur Pramanande.